rosters, Yanni. Who's on the Texas A&M side?
We did it. We have Snake up in the top lane, Retri in the jungle, Senator, Kova in mid lane, Coat and Jax of Trades rounding out bottom and support. Jax of Trades, that's a role swap, by the way, so we'll have to see how that shakes out for them. And on the other side, we have the Comets, and up in the top lane, we have Paul231, as aforementioned, John in the jungle, Zarif in the mid lane, and Chimney and Nabisi in the bottom lane together. And
Lee Sin and Talia for John, right? Nabisi as well. He's kind of playing a different role at the moment. As well as you look on the other side, what are you going to ban from Coat, right? You're probably going to ban his Jhin out. You're probably going to ban the Kindred from Sheen, right? Alexander as well, Seraphine, all this stuff. I think there's a lot here that you can kind of take away, but we are into draft finally. Texas A&M Maroon on the red side, Comets on the blue side here, and you highlighted that top lane matchup. Are you looking for something lane dominant? Are you looking for Texas A&M to use their red side counter pick to completely give Snake a dominant matchup?
You know, I'm not quite sure, because Snake, while he has played champions like Yone and Aurelia in the past, hasn't really played them that much in competitive and has usually been sticking pretty much with the Aatrox. Every great game we've seen him on has either been Aatrox or like Gwen into a tank matchup, right? And while Paul can play anything, you know, allowing Snake to get this counter pick, if you're like, hey, we'll save him for last, maybe they pick a tank, we give him the Gwen, that could be something that's really, really important. And I see some of these 80 carry bans coming out. Ezreal, of course, for Chimney, as we expected, but Chimney does have a couple of good backup plans in Varus and Xayah.
Yeah, Varus, Xayah, pretty standard pick. Xayah has been pretty cool because she's very situational now, right? With all the point-and-click target CC and heavy lockdown that we see, Xayah can come in as a really good counter to things like the Nautilus, things like the Ashe, right? That is banned out right now, but also the Varus. When you throw the Chain of Corruptions, you can just use the Xayah ultimate to kind of slide your way out of that. And Texas A&M giving the respect that Arcane Comets deserve here, Talia being removed, Ezreal, like you said, and I expect a Lee Sin ban, right, coming out for this final ban, but instead, they're actually going to take the Annie away.
Yeah, that Talia might be aimed a little bit more toward John in the jungle. He plays quite a bit of Talia, but he did leave that Lee Sin open, so he might not be too scared of it, and that Annie ban is pretty surprising, so I just said, you know what, we've really studied Zarif. I mean, Zarif has mainly been Azir, Karma, and occasionally Katarina, at least in solo queue. And, you know, Katarina has been getting more and more popularized by Reppy in like open qualifiers and a higher level play like that. So that's a valid pick.
Yeah. And the thing is, the no Karma ban is kind of what I'm looking at right now. Comets should just slam this B1, in my opinion. Very plug and play kind of champion. I guess they're tuned in, they're listening, Yanni, because, yeah, that's the same thing I would do. You can throw her top, you can throw her mid, you can throw her in the support role. She's infinitely more useful, in my opinion, when she has a little bit more gold, right? So in the solo lanes, I think she functions a lot better. Malignance allows you to get those Mantra Rs going, but on the Texas A&M side, they lock in a pretty substandard pick, Maokai. We love this champion. We know what it does. The changes and nerfs that it got, it's not going to affect it. It's still amazing. It can still engage, disengage, tank, peel, get you vision, objective control. It literally does everything.
Yeah, what was the old joke that LS had about Ornn? You know, a tank, bruiser, mage, you know, whatever. Maokai is the same thing. Or even the old meme of Kale can do it. You know, Kale could go in any lane, do anything you want her to be. Maokai, while can't go into every lane, certainly a fantastic pick. And something that everybody's been going after, even after the nerfs. We're getting him again. But we do have a little bit of spice in our stew here, Shibby, with a Rise pickup on the side of Tamu Maroon.
Yeah, that's going to probably go into Senator Kova's hand. And there's that Lee Sin that we talked about, right? Texas A&M opting in for that Annie ban. And you know what John said? You take out my best champion, I'll just play my second best one. Lee Sin being locked in, and a Varus Karma lane could potentially be flexed down into Chimney and Nabisi here. I would love to see it. I think it's a good poke lane, but like I said, solo lane income Karma to me functions a little bit better, especially into this Rise, right? Like, you have the range advantage. You're not going to outscale, don't get me wrong, but you don't pick Karma to outscale. You pick Karma to skirmish early, you use the Mantra Ease, you get that Malignance power spike, and you just kind of run over the early to mid game. and then you just use that gold advantage to accelerate the pace of the game, right? Dragons, grubs, heralds, whatever you want to focus, wherever you have lane prio, that's where your skirmishes should be. So the Arcane Comets have already drafted themselves, in my opinion, a good skirmishing composition. They can go for 3v3s, they can go for 4v4s. I think now Texas A&M has the opportunity to either match skirmish for skirmish or pick up like a very side laning dominant champion. Aatrox is somebody that can kind of do both, right? Can split push, can go and fight with Texas A&M here. But I want to see if A&M are going to bring out some more scaling heavy tools just to outvalue Arcane Comets later on.
Yeah, that's something that they're going to need to do because, as you mentioned with the Arcane Comets composition, this is comfort to its core, right? This is, Nabisi, if you give him the Karma, Varus Karma, very, very strong lane. Obviously, John has that Lee Sin. Taking a look at a couple of bans on the second half, Gangplank, Pantheon are going to get banned away. So, they're worried about what Paul could pull out. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's going to be Caitlyn and Camille that are off the table. I do find what Texas A&M are doing interesting. They're either giving their AD carry the late pick, and it looks like they are going to lock in the Kindred here. This is a Retri pick, right? Retri doesn't play Kindred the same way that Sheen plays Kindred, but still a very proficient Kindred player. You can see the Arcane Comets, they've just decided, you know what? We're going to send this Karma into the mid lane. We're going to lock a lane bully up top, and we're going to let Paul go to work against this Aatrox.
And this Braum is going to do wonders against this short range kind of composition, right? It's Maokai, it's Aatrox, it's Ryze. He's going to be able to block a lot of damage. He's going to be able to really peel effectively for this Varus, right? And that's going to be nice for Arcane Comets. They're going to be able to kind of take their fights, pick and choose. They've got a really good disengage tool with the Braum ultimate, and they can kind of fight on their own terms. And like we mentioned, and like I wanted, Arcane Comets are going to send this Karma into the mid lane. It's a fine matchup into the Ryze, but saving counter pick for your AD carry, they have to have something spicy here, something that's just going to turbo win them the game. And we talked about outvaluing them later on in the game. What other champion than Twitch to just scale into the late game, don't really worry about it, and then fight at like 35 minutes? A Twitch Ryze Kindred composition for Texas A&M, that screams late game to me.
It does. They are setting the timer as far back as it
100% are going to beat out this Ryze and Kindred. It's rough. This doesn't look like a game for Retro to succeed, in my opinion.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Shibby, but that's why we play the games, as we have made it on to Summoner's Rift. Game 1 of this best of 3 series between TAMU Maroon and University of Texas at Dallas Arcane Comets. Comets being on the blue side, TAMU Maroon being on the closer to maroon, but the red side.
And we're going to see pretty standard 5-point defense here. I'm surprised that the Comets don't fancy themselves either an invade or a late one, right? The typical thing that Brahms have been doing, or Braum compositions have been doing, instead of just running in head first at the beginning of the game and then letting the other team just walk out, they'll late invade the jungler. And what better champion to late invade than Kindred, right? Ruin her day early. I would expect something from the Comets, but instead they are just protecting for a non-existent threat of the invade from TAMU here.
Yeah, and, if they don't want to invade, that's totally fine. That's their prerogative, but it does always make things a little boring. You can see Kova got that ward placed down, doing his part in the early game. So excited that he placed down that ward, Shibby, let me tell you. The adrenaline is pumping. You can see that Retri has marked Lee Sin first.
Yeah, they're also doing opposite clears, right? So Retri is, in theory, clearing down to that bot side, and you see John starting Raptors. He's going to go to his red. He's going to go to his Krugs here. And actually, Retri instead, he's going to go for the standard Kindred move because they know where John is on the Raptors. Retri can go red, jump over the wall level 2, and completely take over John's top side. And if he doesn't know this is happening and he starts pathing towards the top, he's going to get quite literally 3 camp differential against this Kindred, and that's going to set Retri up for a very, very good game.
Well, he definitely knows that it's happening because Paul put a ward early on there, so you can see that John is heading over to the bottom quadrant of the red side. So that does mean that Paul has to play a little bit more conservatively. I mean, look Look where
Yep.
Aatrox is standing right
where's
now.
Paul
Can't do
going?
too much. Paul once. Oh, the roam's coming in from Zarif as well.
Paul?
On the top side of the jungle. What is going on the top side of the jungle over on the other side of the map? It's going to be first blood for the Darius.
It is going to be first blood for the Darius here. And they got the invade and said, I know you're trying to take my jungler scams. I know you're trying to invade. Let me just shove this top lane in and let me just pick up a kill as John is in a little bit of trouble trying to match.
John is staying. He's got teammates coming to help him out, but he takes a whole lot of damage. He flashes and he dies. Code's going to get that kill, and now it's a 2v3. And BC has to try to walk it out, and Retri is on his way down. I don't know if Nabisi's going to be able to get out of here in time. They're in hot pursuit of him. If the sapling slow lands, and it does, this could be problematic. Taking some autos, and Coat has 2 in the back pocket.
Yeah, and that's John getting a little too aggressive there, right? The moment you see that bot lane missing, Chimney and Nabisi have to shove that lane in, force Coat and Jax to miss something. They didn't really miss a wave. They picked up 2 kills for Coat. And what was a good play from Paul, he doesn't get rewarded. He gets punished by his team. He's like, all right, you just gave 2 kills to Twitch. You made my life a lot harder coming to these team fights. It's double buffs for Paul. He's going to be able to kind of abuse Snake in this top lane matchup. But Coat not burning any summoners, picking up 2 kills, and Comets are down a lot right now on what they're supposed to be with this Varus Braum lane.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been the story of the Comets every time they play against TAMU, regardless of what game it is. TAMU Maroon played Valorant against the Comets in the Red Bull Campus Clutch, beat them out, and TAMU Esports just seems to have the number of the Comets, but we'll see if the Comets can reverse their fortunes, because if there's one player that you want to have a kill this early on in the game, it's Paul. Paul could find himself a kill here. Pops the ghost because Johnny is here to help out. Flash for flash there. Going to slow up Snake, and Snake is going to die to the bleed, perhaps. Is the potion enough? He's got a sliver, and he lives on just enough HP.
Ooh, chugged that down with post haste, right? Plus the Doron shield on top of that, getting that extra little bit of regen. If Snake starts Doron's blade, he dies there, right? That is Doron's plus the potion helping out here. Snake doing a very good job. I thought maybe Paul would try to go for one more auto, but just like us, he thought he was dead to the heal, or to the bleed here. Snake doing a very good job avoiding it. No summoners in the top side, so John could pay a revisit. That does give them that priority on grubs, as Retri is on the bottom side here trading the dragon, and that's an early dragon for TAMU. That's all you need, right? They want to scale into the late game. You deny one dragon, that puts the dragon timer at minimum to 30 minutes for Comets.
The real question is, Shibby, how many grubs are they going to take? And they do take all 3, as I say that. And it means Johnny is going to head to the top side of that jungle, go pick up those chickens. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Retri wants to go in here, is spotted on a ward, but TAMU Maroon trying to walk forward, but the Comets are way out of orbit there.
Yeah, and they kind of saw John go into this topside jungle. There's a ward kind of revealing at the entrance. I'm surprised Snake doesn't know this is happening, though.
Snake is level 6 right now. This might be risky if Paul's still level 5. If they pull the trigger too early, Paul did hit level 6. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Jacks of Trades going in, hitting a big Q, and Retri coming from the backside. The Braum shield can only go in one direction, and it's not the direction of Retri's. He's able to knock down the chimney.
Yeah, and that was off TAMU knowing that John cannot be down here, right? They saw him enter the Raptors. They saw him go for the gank, or sorry, go for those kills, and he cannot reasonably get down there in time. So Retri forces the gank a little bit, right? They get down onto the Comets bot lane, and Chimney on this Varus. He's building the lethality, but he's already behind the damage curve. Coat is going to be in a very good spot come this next dragon, or if they want to roam for these next set of grubs.
Yeah, 2-0-1 on a Twitch this early in the game. Let me tell you, every Twitch player is going crazy in the sewers right now. They're like, this is our boy down here. 2-0-1, 7 minutes in. The team has done a lot for Coat, and Coat has rewarded them with some pretty solid performances. It's mostly the Snake team, especially when he plays Aatrox, but Coat has also had pretty good games for himself, and you set yourself up early on this Twitch, especially with the team that can be in front of you, this Aatrox, this Maokai, you'll be in good shape.
And John wasted so much time up here, right? He's level 5. He has all of his camps up. He's not going to be ganking for a long time unless he wants to skip here. And Retri just has this window of opportunity.
Yeah, Retri's gonna go. We'll see if Paul's able to find a way out. Doesn't have Ghost available, taking a lot of damage, doesn't heal for a whole lot, and gets chunked out by Snake.
Yeah, and Retri just kind of diffing John right now.
Here comes Rise. The root goes down onto the Braum, and this Braum is dead. Coat picks up kill number 3. Now the question is, can they take out Chimney? Does burn the Ghost. Up on the top side, still a little bit of fighting. Does John take this Q? He will. Retri still level 5. Zarif trying to help out, and it will be a kill over to the Lee Sin. And look at that damage out of the Karma. Empowered Q, a double kill for John on the Lee Sin.
We talked about the skirmish power of this Karma. We talked about what they want to do early on, and unfortunately, Comet's bot lane is paying the price.
Oh, yeah.
They are not allowed to breathe.
Yeah, Kova is just living down here right now. Just look at all the damage that's going down. Like, they're stuck under this turret.
Yeah, they are put under a ton of pressure. And the Comets, this lane that they are supposed to be winning as they stop the backs here. That's a little annoying.
That was
but
nice
hey,
synchronization.
Can take what you get. But Zarif finally using this Karma say, you know what, Senator? If you are going to match, nice Q again to stop the back here. And that means Coat has to stay. They can potentially push a wave in. He's not going to sink his back with Jacks of Trades. There is a window of opportunity for John to potentially dive here because Coat wasn't allowed to back, wasn't allowed to pick up items. But I wanted to mention this bot lane that Comets had, it was supposed to be dominant. It was supposed to be shoving in, lane priority. The way you swing that is by getting your jungler involved early. And Retri has been doing a damn good job pressuring the Comets bot lane, allowing Snake to just kind of have a full level lead over Paul.
Yeah, make no mistake, both of these junglers have the same kill participation, but it feels like Retri has had more impact, has been on the map a little bit more. Recall that John spent so much time in the top lane, and the only thing it yielded was all a death. Chimney in a lot of trouble in a 3v1 right now, just getting jumped on, and it's a reversal of fortune, Shibby. We thought that was going to happen to Coat.
Sir, your support is roaming. Nabisi's nowhere there. You know he's going to Grubs to help John secure it. Just give the wave up. I know the minions are juicy, Chimney, but you've got to not give kills over, especially on the Varus, especially over to Coat, who's on a late game scaling champion and is 4-0-1 10 minutes in.
And the one thing I loved once that kill went down is immediately Tamu headed to this bottom side jungle here. Kova had gotten there first to make sure everything was A-okay, and then he's like, all right, I'll go back to lane. You know, I got to give pressure for the team. And Shibby, they're trying to put Chimney out of the game. They're trying to make him obsolete.
Oh, they're going to put him out of business right now.
There
Four-man dive coming in.
Yeah, grasping roots go down. Who's tanking it first? It's going to be Coat that tanks it first, but he should be able to pick up the kill anyway. Just making sure the rest of his team gets out safely.
Yeah, you got to walk with your support there. I kind of just walked back, knew his teammate was on the top side here. They took the Grubs. They are going to be able to get Dragon off of what Tamu is resetting, which is nice. But Chimney's just not having fun. He's 0-3-0. He went for the more scaling, I'm going to say, scaling lethality build, right? Typically, you'll see Varus's rush double lethality. He went Tear of the Goddess here, so he's going to go for the Muramana plus Ghostblade build, which is going to hit harder a little bit later, but takes more time to scale. And at this point, you're 0-3-0. At 11 minutes, you're 74 CS. I don't know when you're going to come online, because Colt is ready to go. He's got Bork, Berserker Greaves. The man's full bill.
And I love this strategy as Paul ghosting up top, but I don't know if he'll be able to catch the Aatrox. Meanwhile, Zarif is going to be in a lot of trouble. Rooted up again, smacked back into the Rise. You can do all the damage you want, Zarif. You are going to go down here. That looked very strange, didn't it? That flash did get expended. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, they do manage to take out Coat. A big shutdown went over to Chimney, and this is what I was going to talk about, Shibby. Tamu, their strategy coming in was to put Chimney behind. They've been doing very well so far, but that shutdown kind of swings the pendulum back a little bit.
And this is 6 Grubs, right? Hammering into this bottom lane turret.
Oh, yeah.
2 plates went down in the blink of an eye here in Zarif. I think there was an option for him to empower W, right? Get the heal off, then flash out. Now Chain of Corruptions comes down.
This is going to be a lot of damage out of Jacks of Trades. He will be able to Twisted advance away and be okay. The question is, no, they'll go for the wave. I was wondering, is Twitch going to come in and open up on them or what?
I think they want to. Jax is playing too aggressive. He's already, hinting that his AD carry is here, even though he's invisible. They are going to get the confirmation that he backed Nabisi, though. He's going to try to save the wave like a good support right now. Look at where the junglers are on the top side, though. Both of them are going to head in a 2v2 clash. And right now, I don't know if I'm fully confident in this Darius Lee Sin.
Oh, they're fighting upstairs. They're going after it. Snake gets dunked, but he's still alive and then saved by the Kindred ultimate. Meanwhile, teleport coming in, and Kova is looking to run him down, but he's not fast enough. Zarif is also here if they want to go for a turn. World Ender available for Snake.
This is the skirmishing power, right, for Comet. I think Tamu knows we're not going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Malignant's Karma right now.
Oh, man. Roots on the bottom lane aplenty right now. And Jax of Trades, he earned that one, so he's going to pluck that away out of Coate's pocket.
I think he's completely fine. Right now, a little bit gold going into the Maokai's pocket. I'm not mad. The guy scales so well with tank items. As we're going to flash over right now, you look. Top lane, relatively even, despite everything that's happened. John has been relatively even. Now they're going to dive Chimney again!
Oh, Chimney's in so much trouble. There's just no way out of this, man. They are tormenting this guy.
Zarif?
He will be able to at least get a trade kill back, so not all is hopeless, not all is lost. And Chimney gets an assist, but that still feels bad.
We got to add that onto the list, right? So Maokai can engage, disengage. Top lane.
Yeah, World Ender popped. Snake missing some abilities, finally starting to land some. Paul going to heal up quite a bit, but he doesn't have the dunk available, but he's got max stacked bleeds onto Snake, and Snake realized that he was up against the Mongoose and didn't want any of that. Meanwhile, okay, everybody's fine. There's just poking back and forth. They're not actually fighting.
Yeah, they want to fight. Somebody wants to go in, but John took a ton of damage there. And I was going to say, we got to add that to the list for the Maokai, right? So you can engage, disengage, peel, get vision, get objective control, add diving to that list as well. Like he can just literally, untargetable. He's a multi-tool champion, right? Wards, saplings. As we see Retri with that little skirmish in that mid lane. John took too much damage, so they're not going to be able to get the 6 grubs plus Herald, which in my opinion doesn't make the priority of those grubs worth it. You need to get all the grubs plus Herald for you to effectively trade these dragons over. Comets do have one, but
Snake
top
is just
lane.
dead here. Yeah, Snake is just dead. He sacked for the turret. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, they tried to make a play on the Coat and Jax, but they rebuffed that 3v2 just because of the great disengage ability from Maokai. And if they want to turn, they can. You can see Kova is lurking.
Kova's here. Rift Herald.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I saw the vision. I saw the vision.
He was trying to get it down to the bottom. This guy.
No, he almost had it, right? He was taking it down to the bottom lane to create a forward. He almost had it. I wouldn't have passed him on the driver's license test, but he almost had it. A for effort, Retri. A for effort. I see what you were doing. Only a fellow jungle connoisseur could see the big play that was happening. But we do have Dragon coming up in about 15 seconds. And with these recalls coming out from Tamu, I don't think they're necessarily poised to kind of take this. Retri as well, all the way back in base. Although, we do see a little bit of this vision line and saplings once again from Jax just getting in the face of Comets. They should be able to walk in here, though. I don't know if you want to take this fight. Paul has roamed down. Snake has TP. I don't know if he's going to try to shove into that tier 2 and get that for himself. I think it'd be fine if he gets 700 gold and just trade one Ocean Dragon. Get Aatrox a big paycheck. I'll take that trade any day of the week.
Yep. We'll be Dragon over to the comments. They're second of the game, third overall. And one thing I did want to point out, Shibby, you mentioned what was worth and not worth with the grubs. I actually have to disagree with you, and you'll see in a second, because Karma Varus can abuse grubs because of the poke that they provide. Right? You know, imagine if it's not just Jax here. Imagine if it's a straight up 5v5, all the poke that can go down. Speaking of which, teleport coming in, and so are the grasping roots. We'll see if it actually gets anybody. Nabisi is going to get rooted up. Let's see if Chimney gives him a way out. There goes the Chains of Corruption. Jax of Trade's going to be the first target. Paul on the flank, looking to do a lot of damage, getting pretty low. Pulls in too, and dunks the Aatrox. Dunks Retri. He saves himself. Code on the backside getting kicked into the turret. Double kill for the Varus as Kova is here. There's a lot of low health bars, but can he convert on them? Flash away.
Kova?
Looking for Chimney. Couldn't kill. Everybody's low. They're waiting him out. And Zarif is able to get the kill, and the Comets have turned this game around.
Coat, late to the party. That's what you get. Look, he's looking for scraps. He literally is a rat right now. He's trying to pick up the pieces and unfortunately cannot get anything done. And Kova got peppered from every single angle from the Comets. It was Zarif on the top, Chimney with an arrow, and a Sonic Resonance coming out from John, all whittled away Kova's life bar. And I love Comets turning that TP into a mistake for Snake, right? 4v3, Coat was on the recall, Kova could not be there, and the skirmishing power of the Comets composition, where they want to fight you early, they want to fight you in the mid game. Well, Yanni, it's 18 minutes in, and Comets almost got a clean ace.
Yeah, and Retri's ult was just a little too late. Kova is Mr. Worldwide here. They're looking to make a play on the Paul. He flashes away. Ghost not available. Retri here as well. Paul's going to try to live with all these decimates, but the World Ender has been popped. He's super low, and he queues him for a little bit of HP, but unfortunately, his Lee Sin was unable to assist.
Yeah, Jax of Trade just playing bodyguard duty. So you're not allowed to interfere. This is a 3v1 jumping on Paul, and that worked perfectly. Still has Ghost available, but Zarif gets some alone time with this bottom lane turret here. And yeah, I don't hate the point that you bring up, as John is just caught potentially in the wrong side of his jungle.
Nah, they ain't caught. He's got the team here. John wants to go in. He's got pretty low energy. He might actually be caught. You might have been onto something there. As he gets his wolves after a little bit of a war.
Yeah, and I'd love to get a stack check on this Kindred. Retri, I think, has been doing a pretty decent job getting them right on some of these camps here. The 4 is the mark that you want to hit for Kindred here, and he's at 5 right now. And then it's going to evolve at 7, which is going to make her even more busted. 5 at about 19.5 minutes. There's a realistic possibility where she can get to that 7 stack mark if Tamu take an advantageous fight, or this Kindred's able to pick up a mark on the other side of the map. There's definitely opportunities here for this Kindred to get even stronger based off of her passive, as Coat disappears into the fog. We see a lot of priority, a lot of onus onto this mid lane. Comets really want to take this down so they can start opening up a vision line. Baron up in 10 seconds, but the more important objective, in my opinion, that dragon, a minute and a half.
Oh, he pulls him at max range, forced the World Ender, pulls under the turret. The dunk is early, but he's able to finish up the layup there and able to convert a kill.
That's big, right? 30 seconds now, going to give some alone time with this turret. You either force a response from Tamu, or you just give this turret over to Paul, although he did kind of go really, really far here. So let's see if he can get that wave shoved in. Yeah, I feel like John could have cleared those minion waves, and they could have maybe looked for that tier 1 turret, but it was a big, long chase here. Overall, not going to amount to too much because of Snake's death timer and how low it is. Originally, I thought there was a wave, but not really. He'll probably still get the tier 1, but no dragon control, no Baron control. You can't really do anything off of it. It's just a nice kill for Paul here.
Yeah, and if you want to give him the solo gold and say, hey, you know, we're going to let Tamu Maroon go and get this Drake and even it up at 2, that's a fine decision. I am actually a little surprised they're not giving Paul, just letting him say, hey, take all the gold, get a little bit stronger, get some more money in the pocket, because he has been a impactful player as we expected. And despite the scoreline, Snake has also done the same. And if he gets in a fight where the Kindred ultimate is dropped on him and he's able to heal up so much before he dies, he could go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he is going this lethality Aatrox build as Jax of Trades.
Well, BC is the target, but doesn't take a whole lot of damage. Paul taking some as well. Teleport on the backside here. Paul down to about half. And that means Snake is going to be here. Twitch is going to open up on them and is free hitting. He's taking some damage for it. So is everybody else. And John got to the backside. But look at all the low health bars getting saved. Zarif has so much damage on the Mantra Qs. But can they kill Snake? He's sustaining so hard. It's a kill for Retri. Zarif now caught between 2. A rock and a hard place. He's got the shield, but Snake has the sword.
Ooh, and now Chimney left alone right before the dragon. It looked like a good fight for Comets. You saw all that damage coming in, but you mentioned the Kindred ult plus the Aatrox World Ender healing. Those are the 2 members that saved this Tamu team fight, right? Coat went down almost immediately. Somehow, some way, like you mentioned, John got into the back line, but it was more than enough for Tamu, and they're able to get a nice 1.5k gold lead as you look flash across. Aatrox Nice 1,200, or sorry, 1,200, 800 ahead of their counterpart here. You look at Retri, 1,000 over the Lee Sin, but mid lane, Zarif, showing why this Karma is so powerful, showing why it's picked and why it's almost B1able. Even in gold, a little bit ahead, 1,000 on Kova, but just doing so much more than this Rise right now.
Yeah, that Rise did a lot on some roams, but so did Zarif. I think Zarif has had a great early game and a pretty solid mid game, was able to, when you can match a Rise, you are doing your job. That is very difficult to do. So kudos to him, as Chimney got poisoned a little bit there, but no worse for wear, almost on that Monomune spike as well. While Johnny is looking to potentially come in from behind, misses his Q, teleport coming in, the target's going to be Coat. Here is Rise, Paul coming from the backside and looking to decimate this fight. He manages to kill Coat. And now who's the next target? Zarif is taking damage, Paul's taking damage, the BC's taking damage, and Snake is flashing forward. The World's Ender connects.
And I said that Zarif is doing a little bit more, but look at the itemization. Kova has picked up the Archangels and has a fully stacked rod. Rise is scaled, Rise is full build, and that's going to turn them towards this Baron here. And I don't think John can sneak in here for a steal.
Listen, Guma Yusi did it. Maybe Chimney can do it too. Let's see if they're able to fire it off. Not quite, no vision. And the Baron has been slain, but will they look for more here? John is going over the wall into Snake and Retri. Chimney is here. His level 11 Chains of Corruption go down, but
John?
Lee Sin's just dead.
Yeah, he W'd over. I don't know how Chimney's supposed to follow that up. He got focused down, and Chimney might be getting chased right now.
Chimney's in so much trouble. He gets hit by the Infernal Chains. The BC's going to try to bail him out. Look at the shield, but it's just not enough.
What?
Again, the sword is mightier than the shield. Game? Snake is taking over this game. Shit.
Zarif and Paul, I don't think are enough wave clear here. John's up in 8 seconds. Not going to be game, but I'm pretty sure TAMU can get an inhibitor off of this.
Yeah, TAMU has certainly put themselves in the driver's seat. In a game where they had it, the Comets wrestled some control away, but now it's TAMU's game to lose. But still, a potential game to lose as we're cresting to 25 minutes. The Comets still have a solid enough team comp, and we've seen Darius go crazy in the past.
But sir, they're down 7,000 gold right now to a late game composition that we talked about, right? Senator, Kova, Coat, and Retri are all scaled up here. And it's beautiful. He's sitting on 1,800 gold. I'm pretty sure this Kindred's also at 7 stacks, so she's even stronger, right? She's already hit that hyper-scaling innate passive point here. Yeah, 7 stacks on the dot. She went to go pick that up instead of sieging with her team. She went to go pick up the Krugs early on, and now she's evolved even stronger, way ahead of this Lee Sin, doing a wonderful job. TAMU denying the dragons, playing the patient game, and just keeping the Comets under control. Zarif's been doing a good job with the Karma, but it's not enough now because we're 26 minutes in, and there are 3 items on your Twitch, your 3 items on your Aatrox. It's a rough fight for the Comets.
Yeah, TAMU has to make a lot of mistakes, and the Comets have to play mistake-free League of Legends. We'll see if TAMU can actually finish this up. Their siege is pretty okay. They've got solid enough wave clear. They've got 2 AD carries, and then, of course, you have the Aatrox and the Maokai to be able to potentially frontline. You can see working on this bottom inner turret. Root's coming down. They're going to hit up 2, but Jax of Trades was just doing that so more damage could get got on that bottom inner turret.
Yeah, and we just see the power of this Maokai, right? They can disengage when the Comets come in. They've also been on the offensive with this ultimate, right? And just has set up Senator Kova and Coat to just put in tons and tons of damage here. And Snake, I don't think his life has been seriously threatened for a while in this game, right? He's so safe with this Kindred ult, with this Maokai peeling. There are so many other things to worry about for Comets. They just don't have enough hands or eyes to focus on everything.
No, there's too many threats in this composition, and then one major annoyance in the form of a Maokai. Although Maokai could be in a little bit of trouble here, but he's got that Trailblazer. He's just zooming around. I've never seen a tree move that fast.
Dude, he's got Trailblazer. That item is busted. It's still good, even though they nerfed it. As the dragon is going to go down, and Comets they have no way of getting in here. Look at the darkness, right? It is a nocturne ult for them pretty much. As now Senator Kova is going to ult into the mid lane.
They're going to try to take a 4v3, and I really like it. BC is slowed, trying to protect himself with the shield, but Snake coming from the backside means it's a huge flank. Chimney is in so much trouble. Coat gets caught out, but it just doesn't matter. There's so much damage on the side of Tamu. Still alive somehow is this Varus, looking to try to get away. The flash on top of him. He's solo. He's going to die to the root. He does die to the root, and now it's going to be Paul caught between everybody. Zarif is the last one standing, and Tamu are just dominating this game, and he is not standing anymore. They break his kneecaps and take him down.
I don't know if they're actually going to be able to pick this up. They should get the inhibitor here if they really want. Although Jackson's Trey is taking quite a bit of damage. That turret, tanky as can be, needs another minion wave. They'll get the inhibitor. Mid lane's not pushing for them. Neither is bot lane, so I don't know how much more they can get. They'll probably recall, cash the gold in their pockets, and you see nearly an 11,000 gold lead for Tamu here. It is curtains for Comets.
Yeah, I mean, Comets were in this game, and that's when the Comet was passing Earth. But now the Comet has headed back toward Pluto. They are so far out of this game that they're not even near a real planet anymore. It is very, very bad, Shibby. I don't know. Is there a way? Do you see a path for them?
It's a pick, right? It's Chain of Corruptions, it's Zarif, and it's them fighting unfair, right? Pocket Sand, 4v3s, 5v4s. Get dirty, because you're not going to beat Tamu in a straight-up 5v5 front-to-back. It's not going to happen. You have to throw that out the window here. You've got some poke with the Karma, you've got some poke with the Varus. Look for them to make a mistake, but Zarif on the wrong side of this blade.
Zarif has made the mistake, is forced to flash away, and Snake will flash in return, and God, he just does so much damage. And you even see that Maokai was helping off to the side.
Yeah, he was there just as an insurance policy, and I've been really impressed, right? I've been impressed with Snake, right? He's been able to come back into this game. Paul, I felt like kind of had a bit of a grip in that top lane, and despite everything that's happened, Tamu have just scaled. Oh, John?
Kick, they're targeting that Kindred. Kindred gets bursted out. That's a big pick there, but Coat is free firing away. Look at all the damage he does. There's just too many threats.
Coat and the rest of Tamu are going to take this bottom lane inhibitor. And yeah, you picked off the Kindred. This is a double AD carry composition, Yanni. They've got one more dude free firing in the back line. And I'm going to say he hurts a little bit more. 4 items nearly on this Twitch. And he's going to go for the triple inhib. TP from behind, though, yeah.
They need to try to do something here. Snake going to take some damage. Zarif is a little bit too close and gets engaged on. Can they take out Snake? Can they keep Zarif alive? Chimney on the back is not able to get close. The BC is going to die. Zarif is going to die. And the hopes of the Comets are going to die. Paul gets rooted up. They're going to flash on top of Paul. And Snake is still going. John has made it to the fight. But Paul's going to drop. But John actually drops first. Chimney can't close out the kill, and he is forced away. Too many minions in the base, and this game is going to Tamu.
31 minutes in, Tamu's composition has scaled to a T. We talked about them setting the egg timer, and it rang. Decides to overload the top side. Well, let's overload the bottom side as the sides do not switch here. Arcane Comets on the blue side here, and we do see Texas A&M on the red side. And it's not Tamu. I was just informed it's Tamu, like Shamu, right?
Bro, that's what I said when we went in, you know? I realized the error of my ways. Thank you, Twitch chat. You know, unfortunately, because the Rift Herald did not connect on a turret, we did not get to talk about Twitch chat during the game. However, Twitch chat can certainly help out in breaks. Appreciate and love all of you. But back to the draft here. Shibby, not a whole lot has happened. They're taking some time. They are in the tank for the second ban. When the first 2 bans were the same, we'll see what the Comets decides to do. You know, it feels like they've got some trauma in the back of their minds.
Oh, yeah. They might have some trauma bans here coming out. Although, I don't think it's necessarily a specific pick. Although they've argued that the Kindred is what Retri kind of beat them on. The game becomes a lot easier, Yanni, if you give the Twitch 4 kills in 10 minutes, right? Like, you just kind of accelerate the scaling power here coming out from Texas A&M, as they are going to ban out both the Talia and the Lee Sin here. John, you're going to have to show me something new. Your Lee Sin was kind of dirty, right? He did some pretty nice kicks off here and there. He was somehow resonating strike onto Coat in the back line. Like, he was a slippery dude. He was a slippery dude on the Lee Sin, and I think they want to limit the amount of playmaking potential on the Comet side here. And if Texas A&M want to go with another scaling composition, why not? Arcane Comets, they are now prone to making bad decisions early. You can see Chimney not really cognizant of where his team is, right? Not willing to give up those waves. Abuse that fact. Keep diving him. I would send 5 if I have to.
Yeah, keep going at him. You're going to see Karma get picked up once again for the Comets, likely for Zarif, and it did them very, very well. And we are going to see the Salty run back in the mid lane. We are also going to get a Maokai coming in on top of it.
Oh,
Shibby,
wow.
They are rifling through these picks. It's just the same stuff that we've seen, though.
Salty run back initiated here, right? Arcane Comets. I wonder if Zarif is actually going to pilot this Karma, right? So, Paul, I don't know if he's going to end up taking the Darius into that top lane matchup again. I felt like he didn't get, what he needed out of that into Snake, right? The Aatrox was mega, right? Come later into those team fights, especially paired up with that Kindred that is banned out by Arcane Comets here. I would like to see a Karma Varus bot lane. I feel like Chimney and Nabisi need to play something a lot more aggressive that is just going to dumpster Coat and Jacks of Trades. Especially on this Karma, it allows you to kind of avoid those dives a little bit more. Root, Mantra E, that kind of stuff really makes it hard to dive this bot lane, or makes it at least a little more difficult.
Well, we are going to see Ornn get picked up for Paul. We know he plays it, but that does mean that he's going to have much less impact in this game. Meanwhile, on the other side, they said, give me the Aatrox once again. Snake is ready to go on that. And I want to talk about Texas A&M's ban here of Xin. I actually thought the Comets should have picked up the early Xin because, there's a lot of questions about John's champion pool. Xin, very strong early game jungler, exactly what the Comets would need. I am surprised that they let that one go.
Texas A&M, just ban 4 junglers, right? Why not? Put John on something that is subpar, especially because you can flex this Maokai into the jungle role if you want, if you see something there, and you can give potentially Jacks of Trades a counterpick on the support once you see the full Arcane Comets composition. I will say, from my knowledge, the Ornn Aatrox matchup is Aatrox-sided, right? Because of how well he does into the tanks and how much lifesteal and vamp he does. Obviously, Ornn outvalues later, but the lane for Paul is just not going to be fun. He can't do the same things he wanted to on the Darius, and the impact in the team fights will be a little bit more. And the Ornn pick also preemptively denies any of these low mobility hyperscaling champions. Although the Twitch is banned out from Arcane Comets, Texas A&M could think, hey, we saw some Kog'Maw buffs. Let's bring that in potentially. The Ornn denies that, right? You have to pick something mobile now if you're Texas A&M, because the range of engage for Arcane Comets is very long.
All right, Shibby, we're going to find out really quickly whether or not the Comets are not the Karmets, are going to move this Karma into the bot lane, as you alluded to earlier. I think that Ornn pick actually kind of confirms it, to be quite honest with you, because they are just like, hey, we want to go for a bunch of setup. We want to get our bottom lane pushing and poking. I like the Vi pickup into this Varus, who may be the sole threat. Obviously, we're seeing the Syndra come through now, another low mobility threat. So I'm interested to see how this is going to shake out. There's a lot of magic damage on this composition from the Comets.
Yeah, a ton here, right? Gragas, jungle. You've got the Karma in the bot lane, who is still building Malignance, guys. As we do see this 80 carry pick going to be rounding out for Texas A&M. And what do we go here, right? You can't fancy something like the MF. Caitlyn's banned out. Jinx Twitch is removed. Do you just slam that Kog'Maw with the Maokai, or do you go something a little bit more aggressive, potentially? Jhin still up on the table here. There is a couple picks you can go. I would maybe even argue you could go Ashe, right, into this Varus Karma and just play for that utility bot lane. But instead, they are going to go for that Jhin. You open up the curtain. What beats long-range engage, Yanni? An even longer-ranged ultimate.
As Harvey Specter once said, when somebody pulls out a gun on you, you pull out a bigger gun. And that's exactly what Coat is doing on the side of Tamu Maroon. And I like what they've put together. Again, it's a low mobility carry that has so much protection around them. Rise creates a lot of space. Maokai creates a lot of space. And then Vi and Aatrox trying to get on this back line of the poke, the fish in the barrel, right?
Oh, there we
go.
go.
The only problem is that they had a similar composition set up with Karma, playing a stronger role, obviously having more damage items, more gold, things like that. And they weren't able to execute it on that because I don't know if it wasn't their game plan of what they wanted to do, but they could just never get their feet set near an objective. It was either we're running in and taking the objective because we have a timer, or they have a timer and we're not going to even challenge it.
Now, a 5-point defense roughly coming out, although Snake has a little bit of priority there. We'll see what Paul is actually doing, sniffing around that top side there. No wards have been placed. And I want to draw back to game one, where Tamu, Retri, and the rest of them were able to place a ward onto the Raptors of John, and that allowed for that invade. The funny thing is, Paul ended up roaming on the Darius and getting a kill for himself, but John overstayed, and then Tamu ended up getting 2 kills onto Coat here. So I don't know if either of these guys are going to be more hesitant to potentially invade on each other when given knowledge of where the other jungler is, because both teams have been, susceptible to just collapsing on the jungler.
Hold on, Vi is missing items.
Uh-oh, Retri, brother, you're not going to hit level 2 off of this.
Retri. Oh no, he's got no idea. He doesn't know. Shibby, you gotta tell me how doomed this is gonna be.
I mean, he's just gonna have to immediately back, right? He's gonna notice how come I'm not doing much damage?
Figured it out.
Oh, is he actually just gonna go all the way back? Yeah, not hitting level 2.
Why am I taking so much damage?
Why am I taking damage? Why am I not doing enough damage? Where's my pet? Right? There's so much there. This is rough. This is rough. John has a really big tempo swing right now. Although Retri can potentially go for a 3-camp clear into contesting whatever scuttle he wants. But if that happens, if John's paying attention, he tabs over, and he only sees 12 camps taken from Retri, he's going to be like, wait a minute, what happened? How come this guy didn't clear his top side or his bottom side? Yeah, I don't know. Retri on this Vi, you typically want a full clear until you hit level 6. You do have some ability to gank with the flash Q, but you're much stronger when you have that cease and desist available. But because they haven't cleared their camps, the rotation's going to be off. He's going to hit level 6 pretty late, I would say, in regards to when you're supposed to hit it.
Yeah, that's a 242 blue buff. I know Shapeshift is clearing full jungles at 242 with her patented jungle clears. So certainly not that great. And Johnny's gonna come down here, at least for a gank, and try to take advantage. See what happens. They're going to try to get them to walk up a little bit more. Coat gets his 4th shot off. He's reloading, and that means it's time to shoot. Coat has to flash away. He's an auto away from death, and Chimney will flash on top of him and pick up first blood.
And there's nothing Retri can do about it, right? There's literally nothing he can do about it because he's late on his camps here. So the bot lane, there's no response. Really nice from John. That's crazy because he cleared topside, and instead of clearing his camps, he used a potential timer on Tamu and saying, you know what? I'm going to use what would be my farming timer to come sneak into this bot side, sneak into gank Coat here, and they weren't even suspecting it. They didn't even know.
Yeah, they had no idea. A great start for the Comets, and whenever Gragas can get off an early gank, you're always feeling pretty good because sometimes he's got the tools, but feels like it can be a little bit difficult, and they suckered that bottom lane in. See Vi now around the top side, but again, it's just going to be a farm to 6 angle, right? And I wonder, Johnny didn't see anything, so he doesn't necessarily know what happened.
He has no clue. He has no clue. If a tree falls and no one's around to hear it, Yanni, I guess it never really fell for the Comets here. So John has no clue that Retri started late. Might get some hints later on as he doesn't hit level 6 as soon. But John, nice gank, using that timing that we mentioned. Top lane, kind of a snooze fest. Snake holding it, and we talked about it. Yeah, we talked also about how this top lane matchup is Aatrox favored. Just quickly look at the CS lead. Paul's not having a good time.
No. We know who's not about to be having a good time. Coat's going to be having a really bad time because Gragas Part 2, Electric Boogaloo comes in, and Coat is dead. It's another kill for Chimney. Will they give him 2? Double kill for the man. He's 3-0.
And Chimney on this on-hit Vera saying, you know what, Coat? I know we gave you 4 kills last game. I'm going to try to beat that. Let me see if I can get 6 kills potentially. You had your jungler here. You had your mid laner. It's time for me to call my jungler. As with that bottom lane play, Retri, with this top lane priority, should be able to nab these grubs A-okay here. And the dragon trade can't necessarily come out because John backed after that gank, and I assume Retri's going to back after these grubs.
Yep, and still feel a little bit better about his rough start. He does have a nice little camp lead here. However, Gragas has the kill participation lead, so that's not where you want to be. Retri is level 5 to John's level 4. Does mean that, you know, we're getting closer to that cease and desist mark, but that lane gank's gonna be schnasty. Yeah,
they don't know that the scrying orb didn't detect him. And I don't know if Coat is willing to walk up here, but the lane is shoving in. Yeah.
Oh, no.
John. Oh, Coat, so smart. I love that from him. But are they going to be able to play patiently the whole time? How many waves are you going to give up?
Oh, no. He didn't throw it in the bush, and now the target's going to be Jax of Trades. He's just too slowed. He's CC'd, he's stunned, he's rooted, and he's dead. Chimney gets kill number 4.
4 at 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Now the dragon should be going over to the Comets here, though Kova is in the bush here. But yeah, there's a numbers advantage. Even with Zarif clearing this mid lane, he's going to be able to push it in. And he should just be hovering around here to guarantee the dragon. I don't see why you don't start it. You've already given time for Jax to come back, though. There is a window of opportunity for Tamu.
Oh, nice flash there from Retri, and here come multiple members. Kova is porting in, but is caught between a rock and a hard place. They do get onto the BC and take him out because Coat came to help out. They root up the Gragas. Big scatter of the week. Could be a chance to turn this fight because Chimney is on the backside. 2 high health carries. Do they want to just auto attack away? It doesn't look like they have the tools.
2 for 1 overall. They stopped the dragon as well. I said there might have been an opportunity for Tamu because Jax ended up respawning and coming back onto the map super fast. It felt like the Comets were waffling around a little bit in that dragon area, right? Zarif wasn't really trying to push the lane super hard. We saw Chimney stay in that bot side. So what should have been a dragon for the Comets ended up giving some gold much needed into the pockets of Tamu, specifically into the Rise and into the Jhin.
Yep, that's exactly what they needed. You could see already Mercury Treads coming out for Kova, which is a fantastic pickup in this game, right? There's so much CC, so much magic damage. This Rise, if the Comets give Tamu time to cook, this Rise will actually just be unkillable later on. But Chimney, we've seen him put the game on his back before for the Comets, and this time the Comets playing around him. A reversal of fortune of what happened in the last game. We'll see if they can keep that up.
It's not even that Coat and Trades or Jax is getting dove. They're just kind of getting, you know, ganked from every angle, right? It's almost like schizophrenia for them. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, Snake is down here. Rise is coming down here. They realize that there is a big shutdown available on Chimney. There's a dragon that they want to go pick up, and they are going to commit multiple members for it. Paul is on the way. Zarif rooted off to the side. Snake trying to push him off, trying to force this fight to be split. Root goes down onto the Karma, but do they turn? A little bit of damage. Johnny in the back of the pit. He's only level 5, and he steals it away. Call the Forge God is not going to knock up anybody, and guess who gets caught? It's Chimney, and he fail flashes and dies, and now Gragas is going to be the next target, and he goes down.
What a fight from Tamu. They lose the dragon, but they might pick up 3 here. Paul is a tanky boy, and he's a little mobile. They don't have the damage here. They don't have everybody here, but a nice kill coming out from Tamu onto Chimney. You saw Retri was low, and so you know what? I'm full sending it onto this guy. Kill him. I have cease and desist. And when Chimney goes down, it doesn't seem like the Comets have that damage. Retri!
Oh, Paul just big bodying Retri here. Doesn't matter how big your fists are, Paul's fists hit
pancaked
harder.
him.
Oh yeah, absolutely flattened that man. Not looking good out there, but good stuff for Paul. One thing I do want to point out, Shibby, that fight for the Comets was ill-fated from the jump because Varus was level 5 and so was Gragas. There was just ultimates on the other side that, that cease and desist was too much and they just needed more for the Comets here. As Snake is just going to kind of auto-attack away, but there's a Bramble Vest for Paul. And I don't know how much more he can do. Doesn't have the World Ender available, and Paul will realize that he's just going to back off here. Jacks of Trade's getting caught out, and it's a 5th kill for Chimney.
Oh my god.
Cool. Captain Jack?
That was pretty good. That was pretty
crispy.
good. That was a nice cleanse coming out to avoid the death here. But 4-manning, bottom lane, the Comets said, you know what? You hurt our bottom laner last game. You traumatized him. We only can return the favor here, and Coat and Jax getting the Chimney treatment. Look at this, man. They're not allowed to walk up.
Huge cask, but no mana to follow up here for Chimney. Question is, how much damage do they get down onto the Maokai? Not enough. That turret still standing, and 6 grubs strong for Tamu.
They get the grubs. They're using the bottom lanes. I'm gonna say pressure that they're creating. Right?
Reverse
let's
pressure.
turn it. Let's turn it into a positive. The bait that they're dangling from their pockets, whatever is causing the Comets to overcrest onto this bot side, at least Tamu's getting something out of it, right? 6 grubs is nothing to scoff about here. They're gonna get some vision onto this topside jungle. All the meanwhile, though, with Zarif roaming, Kova has had just time to push these minions to scale. I believe he's gotten a turret plate for himself. He's doing A-okay in this bottom lane. And we saw what he did game 1. I don't think you want to give this guy another free win.
Yeah, they got to start putting the pressure on a little bit more, maybe in that mid lane, or just hope that Chimney gets too big. Gragas and Vi hovering around this mid lane. It looks like Gragas says, maybe I want to come bot lane here. Vi going to just do the top
10th time.
Yeah, for real. See if they can stop the recall here. They don't, but Jacks of Trades is just all alone. He's going to flash away. Can Gragas get in there to do something? Twisted advance onto the Gragas? Jax, I think you were just out of there.
Maybe he was trying to wait or maybe anticipate the E coming out from John, as they did end up getting a return kill onto Zarif here. The mid-jungle duo of Tamu just putting in the work right now. At least they're going to get some. Coat, you can't walk up to this.
Oh, big bomba there! As Coat is going to go down. Teleport coming in now. Kova had no HP when he TP'd in, and it's a shutdown for Chimney.
Did he take turret shots? What was it? He TP'd in after the mid gank, and he's like, you know what? I want to donate. I want to feed the kids. And Comet, they were hungry, man. Chimney got another kill. He's 8-1 on the Varus at 12 and a half or 13 minutes. The dude's got Bork and a whole nother item on this base, I'm sure.
Well, that's true, Shibby. Remember what happened to that dragon fight? Targeted by the cease and desist and immediately blown up. So while he is very strong, he is certainly not safe.
He's not unstoppable by any means, right? Retri has a very good point and click, I'm going to take you out of the game button, and it's just the rest of Tamu to kind of capitalize on it. And Zarif on this Syndra, dutifully farming away. Roa still not built for Senator Kova here, and this is a very, very late one, right? Typically, Rises will be able to get their Roa at around the 10-minute mark or even 11 minutes, but it's not going to be able to start stacking it probably until 14. That's rough. That's 24 minutes. Or sorry, the 24-minute mark is when it's going to be fully stacked. That's a little late. I don't know how strong this Rise is going to be because he still needs to build towards that Seraph. Tamu have to drag this out quite a while before they're ready to fight with their mid laner.
I think they might be able to, though, is the thing. You can already see Rise does do, increasing damage as the game goes on. You can see how tanky he already is. The big issue is that right now, full control here for the Comets, at least on that bottom side. You can see they're kind of planning a sneak attack in that brush on the top side. From behind, we could see the Roots come out here. Teams jockeying for position, and the Dragon resets. Curtain Call going to come out, so is Call of Forge God. Call of Forge God is going to land on 2, but it doesn't matter. Paul is dead.
Oh!
This is on the back line. He gets onto the Varus. Varus forced to flash away. Jacks of Trades trying to do what he can, but look on the backside. No, it was a fake teleport. Chimney trying to kite it out. Low health bars for both sides. He's ignited but still alive. They engage onto Johnny and Johnny dies, but Chimney sidestepping deftly. Now he gets rooted up by Jacks of Trades, but they're out of the rest of the fight. Coke can't get close. Jacks of Trades is dead. Retchery with the re-engaged manages to get a second kill, but will be taken down by Chimney, who now has 11 kills.
They tried so hard. Retchery got the nice flash Q over the Dragon Pit to get the ultimate onto Chimney, but Zarif hits a nice, very nice scatter of the week onto the rest of Tamu. They couldn't follow up. Varus is allowed to free fire, and he's got lethal tempo racking away against this Tamu composition, and you saw they're just able to win these extended fights. I'm just surprised that Tamu was so intent on denying a Cloud Dragon.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused by that too, to be honest. Paul, teleports here, no Call the Forge God available. It looks like the comments are just ready to take this dragon because no Vi. Now here comes the rest of the team. This could be disaster. Look at the engage. They found Chimney and take him down. Code is free firing and the rest of the team are mobbing some of the key members of the Comets as the Karma goes down, and now Paul going to be the next target, but will be able to waddle away.
They don't get the dragon, but they get a big shutdown onto Kova here. They took down Chimney, and I think you just go for this Herald. Mid lane turret's fine if you want to try to push that, but you've got a big window of opportunity to pick up this Herald and potentially drop it before this third dragon here. It is going to be the Chemtech rift for us. There's going to be a little bit more importance from Tamu to potentially deny these, as there is a good amount of shielding, a good amount of healing on the side of the Comets, and they can make full use of these Chemtech dragons.
You know who else can make full use of it? Aatrox.
Oh, yeah.
Aatrox can do a lot with it. And a lot of these members who are a little bit tankier, especially, imagine if they get a soul later on. Obviously, Tamu would be in the driver's seat. And speaking of, teleport coming through.
The window's closed.
Yeah, going to stop that Herald. And this will be a very big Herald for the Comets here. Again, this is the second time we've seen a team pick up 6 grubs and no Rift Herald.
Yeah, they opted to use their move for mid lane tier 1 instead of the Herald, right?
Most useless start in the game.
Some would say. Some people would say it is the most useless start in the game. Some people would argue that it's not, and it opens up the vision line, blah, 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 blah. But Tamu tried to have their cake and eat it, and unfortunately, they can only have one. You cannot use your move for 2 different things unless different members are going for different things, right? Retchery didn't immediately beeline it to the Herald. He was hovering around mid, helping his team get that mid lane turret. After that, you have to reset because you cannot go for that Herald. And Comets recognize that. They bring the TPs in. They get the Herald for themselves. And right now, 17, 18 minutes in, Yanni, we have a completely even game between the teams. Something that I didn't think would happen given the Comets start early on.
Yeah, they looked so good early on, but back-to-back bungled fights at the Dragon. Like, you got the Dragon, right? But what did you lose for it? Potentially a lot of standing and maybe even the game itself.
Yeah, Seraph's on the rise, completed now. Just gotta wait for that 8 more minutes here, and it should finally get stacked up. So it's not going to be until 26 minutes. Yeah, 26 minutes. I thought he was going to be able to pick it up at the 14-minute mark. He actually ended up fighting around that dragon that delayed it. And so he's got a while. Not that he's not strong by any means. You saw he can't put the damage down. But he's not going to be like fully there, fully ready. That machine gun rise AP damage. As he's on the wrong side of town.
Yeah, Kova just gets knocked up and he's getting blown up. Shutdown goes over to Chimney. Can they look for more good Gragas barrels? Jacks of Trades getting slowed up. Can the rest of the team catch up? Call the Forge God. It's going to hit Coat once, but only once. But was the slow enough? Oh, Coat ulted the wrong way! He's going to get rooted and he's going to die to the Gragas under the turret.
Huh? Huh?
That was funny. I'm not going to lie. Like I hate to be that guy, but that was hilarious. Johnny, drive it under the turret, man. What are we doing? No Twitch chatters. No,
some people don't.
Voidlings.
Some people don't have licenses. They're blind. Zarif, though,
This is true. Yeah, Zarif does not have a license to be in this bot lane. And the narc, the cop known as Vi, certainly going to issue a ticket for that one.
Yeah, it's funny because the whole fight started with Kova being on the wrong side of the jungle, gets blasted into 4 members, and then we see Coat flash R. He must have fat fingered it, right? There's no way he was gonna flash out and then curtain call them under the turret. I think that would have been too risky. Good return, get something out from Tamu, right? They able to punish Zarif here. At least these teams are trying to trade. They're trying to take advantage of teams overloading one side of the map here. Still, after everything's said and done, Tamu and Comets, 500 gold separates these two teams. And if I'm the Rise team or I'm the Varus team, I think both of these guys are saying, this is going fine for us. We scale. We have on-hit Varus. We've got 3-item Rise cresting up pretty soon. There's one team fight could blow this game wide open. It's Baron on the menu here. Let's see where these teams decide to put their vision. Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds. Comets have the ability to get onto Soul Point here and force a 25-minute Soul, as now...
Here we go. Jin's the target. He's slowed up, has to get away, but Chimney is in a bit of a bad spot. Teleport coming in. That means Snake is going to arrive to the party. Has to kite it out at first, but is going to go in. Has the World Ender, and they catch the Varus. Chimney's in a lot of trouble. Chimney is so low, but the savior, known as Ornn, comes through with a big knockup. Here comes Call of the Forge God. He can't hit it, though, and he's going to die for it. And now from downtown, rifling the shots away. The 4th shot, there's so much. And Snake sneaks in there. It's going to be a double kill for Kova, though.
Slither around like Randy Orton. Oh, Nabisi almost goes down, but Snake on the Aatrox. World Ender. That's a Black Cleaver plus a couple bargain bin items, and he's doing that much to your team. Chimney not allowed to participate in that fight, had to turn tail and run, and they didn't get the kill, but they practically won that fight because he was not allowed to rifle away autos here. Tamu, retreat on this Vi, has been finding angle after angle after angle, and don't get me wrong, I know it's a point and click ability, but they know you're gonna come in, and him able to find those flanks to set his team up for these wins, he's been the difference maker in my opinion.
Yeah, and especially after that early start that he had, where, you know, stop his blue buff. Look at him now, is putting in so much work, is so far ahead of this. Gragas, 2 items completed, one that helps you do a little bit of damage and makes you tanky, and then, of course, Kanik Rukern, a fantastic pickup in this game. I don't know, Shibby, it's starting to look like that Tamu is starting to verge into the area of unkillable.
Uh-oh, retreat?
No, this should be okay. This should be okay. Well, we'll see. Retri is in a little bit of trouble. He's going to go in. Nice dodge on the Gragas ultimate there. He's going to target the Gragas and waiting for the turret to go down. Snake helped me out here, but he said, nah, bro, that's all you. You got that. As they will trade a life for a turret.
Not my circus, not my monkeys, Snake says, right? He's like, all right, Retri, you ape of a jungle, you crazy man here, you go in there, you 1v4, I'm just going to take the bottom lane tier 1. They have spread the map out. Tamu are taking all the standing gold on the menu, and the Comets, you get a nice kill, but what was once 500 gold separating these two squads, you look at it now, it's nearly 4,000, and Tamu are in a pretty dominant position. Senator Kova, so far ahead, the strongest member on the side of Tamu here, and yeah, a lot of that gold for the Comets is sequestered onto the Varus, but Chimney, the burden might be too heavy because Tamu have the perfect composition to root him out, to get him caught, and the rest of Tamu can follow up. Who on the sides of Comets can do anything else? Zarif has been okay on the Syndra, but we haven't seen any crazy scat of the weeks. We haven't seen him able to land anything onto the Vi, or deny the Aatrox, or burst out the Rise here. And you're going to tell me the Gragas and Ornn can pick up the slack? Chimney has just too much on his plate at the moment, and I don't think he can step up to this task simply because of Tamu's composition and how it's designed to keep him out.
Simply put, Shibby, take a look at the kill participation for the solo laners of the Comets. Take a look at the kill participation for the solo laners of Tamu. And you can see that these are not equal. I would venture to say Zarif has struggled Paul's impact has been pretty okay in fights. He had the nice save there onto Chimney in that last fight, but wasn't able to get off the call of the Forge God, wasn't engaging with it. And, all of a sudden the Comets are really in a bad spot. And you talked about how strong Senator Kova is going to be. Guess what? 9 stacks of this Rod of Ages. He is the Senate.
Yeah, he is. And the thing is, Zarif, he's an item and a half. Senator Kova's sitting on 3 items, a death cap to round it all out. We talked about scaling. Who cares if the row is not fully stacked? His pockets are fully stacked. Man, he's got so much gold lining them 3 items in. I feel like Tamu can just do what they please right now. 2.5 minutes coming up until this Baron and a minute 45 for this Dragon. If Comets, Yanni, even get this Chemtech Soul, is it enough? Is it enough to inch them over that gold deficit that's slowly but surely moving lower and lower, right? It's getting further and further out of reach this game, it feels, for the Comets.
Shibby, I was going to ask you the same thing because I'm not quite sure. I really don't know because these champions on the side of the Comets, thinking about the Soul's effectiveness, that special ability you get below, what is it? I think it's below like 50 or 30%.
50%.
I honestly can't remember.
50%
50%.
HP.
You start getting that increased vamping damage. Well, who on this team's going to take advantage of it? Gragas certainly is, and he's full AP right now. Ornn's not going to do anything, right? They don't have a champion like an Aatrox, like a Rise, that could really take advantage of it because they get tanky later on and provide such high damage. So I don't know if that's even a win con for the Comets. They may just be in, we need to get the Soul so we can flip Elder or something like that.
I mean, even if they end up giving these Dragons away, where's your scaling option? Because Chimney, look, he's 4 items in, don't get me wrong, but he just hasn't been able to rifle away autos. And you can kind of see how bad of a situation it is. If you take a look across the solo lanes, Ornn isn't even at 2 items tank-wise, right? Zarif just hit his 2nd item. And you've got mid lane cresting on 3 for Senator Kova. Snake is on 2. Jungle for Retri on 2 as well. He's a tank. He's going to go even beefier. He can stick into these fights and get multiple rotations of his spells off. So much of the responsibilities on Chimney, and he might just collapse.
Grasping Roots coming out. Looks like no further engagement from there, so that's a big cooldown burnt for the side of Tamu. But meanwhile, look who's on the backside. It's Vi who ends up getting over the wall. Now Paul's going to be the first target. He's taking a whole lot of damage. Let's see if Chimney can stay protected. And Vi always finds a way on top of the carries. It's a front-to-back fight, but there's no front left for the side of the Comets as they burn bright, but they burn out. Quadra kill for Cope.
Big ultimate coming out from Retrier, finding his man, picking him up full court, whatever you want to say. Chimney was not allowed to breathe. He was suffocated every single moment. Get down, Mr. President, the Comets were trying to do, but they could not execute on this Secret Service detail. And Tamu, with that fight win, with the grubs in their pocket, are going to take this dub 2-0.
It was hard fought from the Comets early, but ultimately the scaling of Tamu, the team fighting of Tamu were too much for the Comets to handle. Congratulations to Tamu Maroon, because guess what, Shibby? They are still undefeated, and they have stolen the crown of Texas for right now.
Is it a crown?